Well, tonight we have somebody who's a regular guest in your homes on Sunday. She dominates television with her current show, Our Perfect Wedding. And I'm talking about Thembisa Mododa, who's also popular on radio, having worked the early hours on 94.7. And Thembisa, pleasure to be with you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
As the multilingual and sprightly presenter and host of Our Perfect Wedding.
Oh, Nkosi, thank you so much.
You see, I'm very generous. Right?
You are.
I'm very generous. I'm willing to talk to you, notwithstanding the fact that you are keeping us off air on Sunday nights, because I don't want to stand toe to toe with Our Perfect Wedding.
Because you know I will annihilate you.
Yeah, well, and I can understand. Very popular show every Sunday. Now, it's, what is it called? I noticed on social media it's called...
OPW.
Exactly, but there's something, Sunday TV.
Oh,
Defined by
Mzansi
yourself.
Magic Sundays.
Sunday TV and OPW.
Yeah.
A lot of drama that happens there.
Yeah.
Anyway, how did you get the gig in the first place?
It's so strange. What happened was I was at a movie premiere and I met up with the ex-presenter, Dumimorake.
Yes.
And she says to me, you know, actually they're changing presenters and I think you'd be great for it. And I was like, wow, okay. Then she called the producer right then and there and they said they're going to call me in. And they did. They called me in. I auditioned. I didn't get it. Season 5, they went with Aya, and then they called me back for season 6. They said I must audition again.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, am I really gonna put my heart through this again?
Yes.
And I thought, you know, let me do it. I did it, and I've been the longest standing presenter since.
Yeah, and it's been fun, I suppose.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I told you earlier before we got on the set that the one part that I remember was the wedding where the guy was basically trying to swallow the face of the bride. What was going on there? I will talk about other shows, but were you not scared, shocked by what was going on?
I don't think he was trying to swallow her face as much as he was trying to show her how much he loves her and appreciates the fact that she just married him. You know, so people kiss in different ways, but
well, you know, actually I ended up putting it out on Twitter myself and saying, would you do this? How does the process of a perfect wedding work? I mean, how do you decide which couples to cover for the show?
The couples actually write in with their story. I think more than anything what the show is trying to accomplish is to tell love stories and how people meet and how they get to the aisle and how they get through all of their troubles and tribulations. So they write in with their story. They do a screen test where they sit together as a couple and they tell us their story so we can see their chemistry and how they are together and how they will tell the viewer the story, because as much as we'd love to be storytellers and chanting love stories, it needs to be entertaining because it's television.
Well, and I suppose the people who end up appearing on the show are very confident and proud
in their
love, in
their relationship, and whatever it is they've gone through. There's never a time where we now have to dig and dig and dig and force them to tell us anything bad about the relationship. They are so open and so giving because I think each couple has a reason why they want to come onto the show, and with that reason they come and they tell us their story and then we take it from there.
But for you now, you know, how emotionally involved do you get? Because you've got to unearth that chemistry and the willingness on their part to share their story, to tell it to you. You know, so it means you go around charming them and winning their confidence. I suspect that's what you do.
I am exhausted by the time I'm finished shooting because with each couple, with each week, I put in my everything. I literally get to know them. I become part of them. I want to know who they are, where they go to, what they laugh about, what they cry about. And I take that upon myself and I put it into my heart and to my mind. And then I go on this journey with them, which is exactly why I get so emotionally involved, physically as well. I get so involved because I care so much about the couples, because I care so much about love, which is why I did the show in the first place. So I get so involved every single week. So by the time I get home, I am tired. I'm tired.
But somewhere, everybody's looking for love and want to get married and probably want to appear on Our Perfect Wedding. Or even if they don't, they want to believe that their wedding is the perfect one. And why should people care about perfect weddings anyway, from your experience? There's a second question to that. But from what you've seen over time, why does anybody want theirs to be the perfect wedding, you think?
Because this is a memory. This is something that lasts forever. Someone's wedding, someone doesn't get married to get married next time. Or to get married the next time. That wedding to them literally is forever for them. So it needs to be perfect, every single detail. They need to remember what it was like and their families as well. Because I think more than anything, The weddings are not really about the couple, it's about the families coming together and them having a beautiful wedding to talk about to their friends and to the other families. So a wedding is very, very important to the people getting married and to the families, and it must be perfect.
But I've seen, you know, some couples try too hard, and then it ends up in disaster. For instance, people insisting that they will plan it themselves. They want their dresses to look like this, and the others' best man must dress like this, and the other certain protocols must be observed. Quite involved process. Yeah,
they plan it and they plan it and they plan it, but there's nothing you can do when something happens that you just didn't plan. You know, fate has its way of coming through and just taking over. You know, so, and I guess that's where the drama comes in.
Now, for you personally, there are many stereotypes about love and relationships. Now, talking about the weddings, as you interact with couples, people have got their own views on how things should be and what love is all about. Is love in the marriage context expressed differently from one part of the country to the next, or is it the same? You know, I mean, you move from KZN to Limpopo to Northwest to wherever. Do you see the expression of love coming through culturally?
I think the expression of love is all the same, but culture and tradition always has some role to play. And the saddest thing that I've noticed is that sometimes culture and tradition does kind of take
precedence,
right? Precedence over the actual love of the couples. But I think, isn't that who we are really as black people who get married? Families come in, cultures come in, you have to do amasiko ngapha. And then the marriage is for you. The wedding, I guess, is for your family.
Let's talk about your career yourself, because you didn't just wake up one morning and then there you are, you can run and be the host of Our Perfect Wedding. You know, you must have worked at your game for some time.
I worked pretty hard. I fell a couple of times, I got up a lot more. I think more than anything, what I've always loved to do is to perform and to tell stories. And I needed to pay homage to that passion and that love by going to school. So I studied, and when I felt like I found something else within my studies that could help my career, I studied that further.
But always the direction being media.
Media. So I started actually studying graphic design because my dad said there's computers and there's creativity, just go do that. You know, you'll be fine there. And I found out I wasn't happy there. And I worked for a bit, and then I decided, look, I want to go to drama school. I sat my father down and I said, can I please go to drama school? He's like, yeah, it's okay. I went to drama school. When I was in drama school, I majored in performance and script writing and screenwriting and theater mostly. And then I found my love for media and journalism, and then I did that as well. So about 9 years later, I graduated everything and started in the industry, and it was harder than I thought it would be, obviously, because it's different from the cocoon of being in school and knowing that you don't have to literally maybe audition for some things and other things, you know, they know that you can do it.
And the multilingual aspect of your work, how does it come in? I mean,
it comes from my love for languages. And we used to travel, we used to move around a lot because my father was in the government and it was foreign affairs and well, before 94, and then after that, then he decided, you know, to leave. So we'd move around a lot, and I think everywhere I went, I'd pick up languages there and there. Even when I speak to people, I listen. I have that ear. I love languages.
How many do you speak now?
I think I speak about 5, 5 or 6.
And the other thing I think in this interview we've got to establish, you're becoming bigger beyond the borders of South Africa now. Your show becoming popular elsewhere.
It's becoming so popular. Do you know, I get messages from Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, the UK, the US, people watching that are saying, please come, we'd love to see you. I'm getting married. You know, maybe we can expand, you know, maybe they can think about that.
What is the most, well, I've got to be careful how I say that, but let's say it anyway, hilarious moment for you going around covering the different weddings?
I think the most hilarious part would be how many times I fall on set. Andy.
Why?
I walk a lot. I actually make the joke every single time I go and say, this should be called Our Perfect Walking, because I I do walk-ins, and then I walk out, and then I walk into the room, then I walk out the room, and then I walk up a mountain, then I walk down a mountain. You know, and I never wear flats. I think because the outfits are planned to the T.
Hard work though goes into the show, right?
Yeah, it's very hard work. Because at the end of the day, as much as I'm walking, in my mind, I need to get the narrative right as to my interview that I'm going to do, either with the bride or the bride's mother. And then from there, I need to have my link in my mind ready, because as soon as I turn from that, I have to do the link.
You know what?
I write everything. So.
I suspect there are people who get married and hold weddings so that they can appear on your show. So you might be responsible for some of the weddings that we see on the shows. It probably is happening, you know, somebody who had no intention whatsoever
of getting married.
Of maybe getting married without a wedding, but they say, hey, I want that woman to be in my wedding tape, so I'm going to do a perfect wedding.
And I hope it lasts, whatever reason. I hope I bring some sort of magic to that wedding, and it lasts.
But South Africa follows you every Sunday, so at least there, you are the queen of Sunday night. So let's give you credit for that.
Thank you.
And Thembisa, thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us on our show.
Thank you
we
so
appreciate
much. Thank you.
Everything of the best to you.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's Thembisa Mododa, our perfect wedding. Many of us are familiar with it, and she is the host of the show. And of course, they make sure that you get the behind-the-scenes stuff that you wouldn't believe happens, but it does happen. Nevertheless, has done very well for herself, the longest-running host of the show, Our Perfect Wedding.